Hello everyone, welcome to General Lando 327 plays Final Fantasy XIII, episode 11. We are just about to fight the final boss of chapter 5. Have everything all set up for it already. Let's see. Yeah, symbiosis. My equipment is set up. Doctor's Code, Silver Bangle, Tungsten Bangle, Tungsten Bangle. Yep. Alright, so. Here we go.
We're moving. What's going on?
The elevator is going up. That's what's going on. Boss is a nuisance.
This is it. Operation Nora.
It changes elements frequently, making itself vulnerable to one and strong on the opposite element, and then does some nasty elemental attacks. So we need to get its really nasty attack that gets worse when it has an element attached to it. So we definitely want to have Shell on, which we do now. And then
Time to switch it up.
here we go. So it starts out having all elements until it picks one to go with. Here it goes. So now it's absorbs ice and is weak against fire, and then halves everything else. Toss a potion here. So the reason that I tossed the Doctor Code on is because it does these area attacks that I literally just healed us up to almost full, and we are already to the point where I need to be concerned a little bit because, again, a couple of those and we're out. Switch to dual casting. Drive up the chain gauge. Same old, same old. Stop casting. So now it's weak against ice, but lightning doesn't actually have anything that does ice damage. So I might as well just switch back to slash and burn so that her attacks aren't cut in half. Now we're far enough away that that attack isn't going to hit both of us for the moment. Although lightning's already coming back around, so. But now it's staggered, so it is capable of being launched. And then we really want to juggle this thing. Because we don't want this thing ending up on the ground. Again, because then it just will keep attacking us. Unfortunately, we won't kill it in one stagger period either. But we can do quite a bit of damage. I told it to cancel my attack so that I could keep it in the air longer. Grr. Yeah. Like I said, sometimes I'm not real good at juggling things. It doesn't help that Lightning has 4 attacks and Hope only has 3. For the slots on the ATB bar. Ow. Alright. It's exoproofing water, which means we can do thunder damage to it. Now, one potential thing to do here is to try to drive up the chain gauge as quickly as possible and then summon Odin, since it's weak against thunder. Ironically, even Odin's Thunder spell is not Thunder Elemental damage. But, it's a little weird. Let's go ahead and do this. No! Alright, now we need to switch back to Symbiosis. Of course, while we had a chance to actually do something. Because my Protecting Shell are wearing off. And we don't want to lose those, so... And now it's extra perfect lightning. Of course it is. So that lost all of our chain cage progress. So I'm going to try to get lightning to the other side of the field from Hope. Of course, that's the exact opposite of what I wanted it to do. That works out better anyway. Not do that. Get this thing staggered again, and once it's staggered again, it's going to be over. We are actually going to try to boost the chain gauge just a little bit more before I switch to Commando, just to guarantee that I kill it. Why is... Hope's casting is like totally spread out, and I have no idea why. There's no reason for him to be casting one spell and then stopping. What is wrong with that? That's why my juggling wasn't working, because he was only casting one spell at a time. That's annoying. I thought there was a glitch in this battle when I was testing the guide that I wrote for this game. The strategies just don't line up the way they're supposed to. And when I was writing the guide, I just assumed it was because I was still figuring out the best methods of doing it. But it's not. It's actually like there is a glitch in this battle in how the AI behaves. Particularly Hope's AI. Hopefully it's going to change. Yes, hit me. I don't care. I'll just toss the potion. Thank you! Okay, don't even need to change. This thing's going to die. There we go. There we are.
Operation Nora, Stage 1 complete.
You did well.
I know. Nothing to get here, right? Oh yeah, we need to remove our accessories.
That's it. Hallam Polem.
That's where you live, right? We'll stop in when we get there.
No. We're the sea now, and no one's there but my dad.
Hope, you need to let him know what happened.
No, I didn't actually need to do that, but since I'm here.
Okay, time to hunt some lassie.
So what, we find him and that's that?
Don't get all hot and bothered.
Sarah, am I doing the right thing?
In case you're wondering, no, we don't ever get to fly any of those.
Jump! Sarah! Sarah!
Yeah, no seatbelts. There's no way Snow's not dead. He didn't even use the Phoenix Down.
Sarah.
Besides, we all know in the Final Fantasy universe there are some deaths that just can't be cured with the Phoenix Down. Aerith! Sorry, too soon?
Ow!
I knew you were hard-headed.
That was ow.
Snap to it. We're rolling out.
Yeah. Huntingless sea, right?
This is our chance. Do not let the Lassie escape. Move out.
I will keep my promise, Lightning.
How come Snow always gets to fly those and we never do? This is probably my favorite area of the game. It's just so cool looking, and most of the enemies are a breeze. In fact, to be honest, all of the enemies are a breeze. Unless you're underleveled, but It's really hard to be underleveled in this game.
Fresh air. Nice.
So, where we headed?
Dunno.
You don't know? I thought you had somewhere in mind the way you took off.
I followed the smell.
What?
Smells nice. All naturey.
I guess it's not that hard to be underleveled in this game. I did try to do a speed run
smells
on it
damn.
once, and you're definitely
Think something
underleveled
bit
for
me.
that.
Hide!
But even then, like, you can breeze through this area, even in a speed run. In fact, it's even easier in a speed run because most of the enemies are easily
That is not
dodgeable.
good. I wonder if those two were caught in the net.
What do we do?
What do we do? Right now, what can we do?
I know. Run!
Right. No choice. We run the other way.
Yep, that's always their answer.
Which would be to Nautilus.
As we set off, it was like he'd forgotten that I was still there.
Sorry, Vanille, I don't think anybody can forget when you're there. What did I do here? Ah, that's what I'm missing. There it is. Alright. Crystarium. We have a new Crystarium level again. Yay! Alright, so what do we got? Aurora. Thunder. A roll level. And Fira. Yes, I say it Fira. I know it's technically Fyra, but I like Latin. Poison. Quake, which we don't care about. And a roll level. Asuna, which is nice. Kira. And a roll level. But we do want poison as quickly as possible. There we go. Then we want Asuna and Kira. And then we can go for Ravager. Try to get fire up before we get overwhelmed. There we go. Let's go for the Sab roll level first because, like I said, I love Saboteurs and she's gonna be Sab for the majority of the game, so certainly a lot here. Alright, so for Saz we have, again, Quake, which we don't care about. He gets Thunder. Ravager roll level. Did he get roll level in Commando? I guess I could look at this the other way. Nope, no roll level. And Thunder and Water and a roll level and the accessory slot. So, go for the obvious. Let's get Thunder. Then we can go for the accessory slot, picking up the end spells on the way. Again, I don't use him as a synergist all that much. So I'm going to get the roll level for Ravager first. And then we can go for the other one here. Alright, so then we need equipment. We're going to upgrade her to one of our new tungsten bangles. And we're going to give him, now that he has a second slot, we're going to give him Iron Bangle, which gives him the opposite of what we did with Hope with the two tungsten bangles, where he had a power surge if he had low HP. In this case, Saz gets a power surge if he has high HP.
Want to get the Nautilus? The road's through here.
That way we can finish off those weak battles a little bit quicker, and he doesn't really need the HP boost to come from better stuff, so. Alright, here we go. So, Flandragoras, which are what these things are your typical Flan enemy, but they're very, very easy to get preemptive strikes on.
No daydreaming now.
Because they're so slow and they have like no awareness radius. So, we want to use this. That's what I thought. It's immune to deep protect. But we can still try to get poison to stick on it. Although we really don't need it. One thing about both, well actually 3 of the Saboteur spells, Slow, Poison, and Imperil, all of them, they wait for the animation to be finished before it decides whether it, well, it decides whether it sticks before that, but it doesn't show you whether it sticks until after the animation is done, which is kind of a little bit of a pain for timing purposes, but, I mean, it's not that big of a deal in almost any situation. Is that our first Flan type enemy of the game? Thinking about it, I don't think we've actually seen any Flan before. Yeah, first Flan. There's no militarized Flan. No.
Well, I guess this is better than homicidal scorpion robots and mountains of trash.
But anybody who's familiar with the Final Fantasy series knows the general characteristics of Flan.
This place would make a nice picnic spot. Minus all
They
the
tend to be
guests.
powerful attackers of some sort. Usually have high physical resistance. often have good magic attacks. Although in this game, they don't tend to do that as much. They tend to basically just have attacks that are... that are primarily physical. And often sweeping attacks. They're commonly like a wide range like that because the way that they reach, it can hit multiple targets if they're close enough together. Later on in the game, they're bigger and therefore have a longer reach to start with. But here we're about to get... Nope, not this one. I was gonna say we're about to get one of Vanille's best weapons in the game, but no, we aren't. That's not that one. It's another side path that does that. Unless I didn't miss it, did I? No, okay. I thought it was right here at the start, but it must be just a little bit further on. Ah! Frog turned around at the wrong time. That's fine. Not an issue. So, the problem with controlling the Saboteur, I'm doing it again. I haven't even been watching... I finished that season of The Flash. Anyway, the problem is that the programming tendencies for Saboteurs, the whole issue with them changing targets is a problem when you have them as the leader, because you have to constantly make sure that it's targeting the right one. Because if you have a Saboteur and anything other than 2 commandos in your party, then your party will follow the Saboteur's direction for which target to attack, which can be a pain. But it's also very useful because it allows Saboteurs to direct combat a little bit better. And once you get the wide area spells, it doesn't matter anyway. So one thing with this battle, it would actually probably be easier if I actually did either Slash and Burn or Divide and Conquer. But it takes more time to go into the menu and change it than it actually saves us, so I don't care. But with Saz in the commando role, having Blitz will take these out a little bit quicker, but meh. Because then you're just going to want to change it back for the next one anyway. Although, honestly, with all the preemptive strikes that we get here, we could probably run through this in Slash and Burn too, but having D-Shell on these makes it a lot easier. Poison doesn't really matter, but... Yeah, so in this case, these flans are actually completely immune to physical. That's not always the case, but... So even if we switched Saz to a commando, he would only use Ruin, which is the magic stat based physical, or magic stat based commando attack. The other nice thing about casting statuses, when a monster is staggered, their weaknesses to most of status effects typically drops dramatically. So like poison there, whereas I probably would have had a hard time getting it to stick if it wasn't staggered. Once it's staggered, you're almost guaranteed for most of the storyline enemies, non-bosses, but most of the storyline enemies that aren't immune to whatever status effect, if you cast it once when they're when they're staggered, they're going to get inflicted with it. And there's the weapon I was looking for. So this weapon, yeah, it lowers her magic by 4 points compared to the Pro Wing staff that we were using because it had the highest magic stat. But it also gives her the improved debuffing ability, which boosts the success rate of debuffing, which makes it one of the best weapons in the game for her, unless you just hate saboteurs. And just will never use them. Which, I think if you do, then you're missing the point of half of the system, but whatever. You know what, this one we actually did want to go into Divine Conquer. It makes this a whole lot easier. It's just a slash burn. We really don't need to debuff these. By the time we get debuffed, they're going to be dead anyway.
And done.
Ow. Do me a favor, don't kill Vanille, okay? There we go. Haha. You tried to ambush me, and yet I got the preemptive strike. Because, well, you're giant rotten tomatoes and you're really slow. Didn't stick to poison? Yeah, doesn't matter. I'm not gonna kill it with poison anyway. Nope, nope, nope. You don't see me. Forgot to, this doesn't matter. That was close. One down. And here we get a new weapon for Saz. So Saz is a very strange character in that he's like not great at much of anything, but he's also not horrible at much of anything, and his weapons reflect that. Basically, you can find a weapon for Saz that will fit whatever playstyle you have for him. So the stagger maintenance ability, I was thinking that was buff duration, but it's not. So that one actually, like, the time that an enemy is staggered increases when he has this gun equipped, so that automatically makes it a great ability. Even if it does, like, cripple his magic relatively. Dropped it by almost 20 points.
Again?
So let's do this the easy way. One down. So we never even actually specifically targeted that third enemy, and it died because it because of his blitz attacks.
No daydreaming now. Way to go, Zaz!
There we go. So that is the second and last Dr. Code in the game. So, we actually are going to need... No, I was going to say we actually are going to need that to upgrade to something else, but if you want the achievement for collecting one of every item at some point in the game, you can't sell those because they do upgrade into other items, and they are unique. Unique
Saz.
being,
Tell
in this
me
case,
about
two of a
yourself.
kind, but whatever.
Any family?
I have a little boy.
Hey, we finally get Saz's backstory.
So you're married?
I was, yeah.
We gotta get you home. Your son needs you. Come on, we'll make it.
It's too late.
Is it the Lassie thing?
How'd you...
You might be a Lassie, but you're still a daddy.
You're right.
So, what's his name?
Here we go. Now we have confirmation that Saz was there.
Dodge.
So that's all of them.
Hey, Dad.
Making a wish, huh? What'd you wish for?
Well, they're never happy. You never smile. So here's what I wished. I wish that you'd cheer up and be like your old self again.
How about that?
Whoa.
Your wish came true.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, it's my turn to wish.
What for, Dad?
That's my little secret. Huh?
You all right?
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Pops. You really got to keep it together, okay? Now, let's go.
Now I got kids looking out for me. Some dad I am.
So we're about to get a new enemy type. They're, I think armadillons are what they term them as. This is another enemy type that you generally have to come up on them pretty close to directly behind them. Even though they're slow, they have a large radius of but the trick with these is that they have huge damage resistance. If you get them on a preemptive strike, your best bet is to do exactly what we did here, and that is try to get all your debuffs to stick on them, because they will survive the first stagger period for the most part, regardless of what you do. And to try to get them to stick debuffs while their carapace is on is a major challenge. As you can see, like, we aren't doing hardly any damage to it. I'll show you that later. But and then it's a matter of surviving long enough to stagger them again, because again, usually they're pretty slow, but they're also like high damage potential. I was gonna say high stagger resistance, but also high damage potential, obviously. So yeah, you have to be pretty well healed for these fights. Poison in particular is really helpful against them, just because it just constantly takes away their health at about the same rate that you can actually deal damage to them. So it's very useful. Sometimes it's faster than you can typically do damage to them yourself. Go. And then they can just finish it. Once they're staggered, then they're a pushover, but most of the time. Sometimes they still have pretty nasty physical attacks even after they're staggered, but usually by the time you get to that stage of the game, you also have some kind of commando with the launch ability, so. It's one downside to Saz as a commando is he never gets the launch ability. You know what, I actually do want him to be in commando mode. That might be part of my problem, since I forgot to change it back from divide and conquer. Now we just need to stabilize the chain gauge a little bit. There's a lot more chain gauge maintenance that you have to do when trying to stagger these types of enemies too, because of the fact that they have such high damage output, and you're going to have to be switching to medic roles fairly often. You need to make sure that your character that's not a medic is capable of keeping this chain gauge from decreasing too rapidly. So basically, all of these scale beast fights are strictly optional. That little primer that came up earlier, that's basically what it was saying, is that these are really tough, and you can just probably slip by them because they're slow. By the way, if you, I was gonna say if you want a preemptive strike, all you have to do is go around stick to the wall, but that seemed to work like not at all.
I know someone who'd love to be seeing all of this.
Of course, you can always try to pull it, but... Really? Alright, come here. There we go. Now turn around. There we go. Now we got this. There we go. And I forgot to change my paradigm again. Oh, yeah, that's fine. I'd rather just get my debuffs to stick and then I'll worry about it. Those stuck a lot easier than they did last fight. So right now it's staggered, and it's still cutting in half all physical magic damage, plus having like a couple of the elements. We'll see what happens when it brings its carapace back up here in a second. So now if I look at it, wait, what? Oh, because it doesn't actually have its carapace regenerated yet. There we go. So now it's immune to a couple types of damage and having everything else. You're really gonna keep attacking Vanille? You were supposed to switch targets. That's not what I wanted. One last guy. something real quick. I want to see what his... Yeah, so that's actually doing more damage with him as a Ravager than it does as a Commando in when it's staggered. Well, that's good to know. Yes, by all means, please keep attacking Saz. Although, actually, Saz has lower overall HP than Vanille does because Vanille has the tungsten bangle. But, you know, whatever.
Taken in the seat.
I love the way that they do these gremlin type enemies. Like, they just sit there playing or dancing around in a circle, or they're just the way that they stylize these is and honestly, a lot of the enemies in the game, they have their own like unique feel for each of the different enemy types, and I think it's pretty cool. Unfortunately, you lose that in 13.2 and Lightning Returns because there aren't preset encounters anymore. This can actually turn nasty pretty quick, just because if they all cast fire on the same target in a hurry, things can get pretty ugly, but... But at the same time, if they do that, your other party member, unless it was Vanille, because then, you know, you just die because, well, your death means game over, apparently. But if it's Saz, then Vanille can pretty much straight up handle the rest of it. as long as it wasn't too early in the battle. Wait, did they have a... No, they weren't guarding anything. Okay. I did get the... Yeah, I did. Okay. Alright, so we need a save point soon. Yeah, and there's one right after this, so...
You look tired. Not enough sleep?
I guess.
Not surprising. Cute girl like me. It's hard to close your eyes, huh?
I'm just gonna...
And there he goes. Still king of the one-liners, even when he doesn't mean to be.
Being made of the sea, it's not easy. I mean, look. Even I'm kind of worried. But even if we don't know what'll happen, we have to keep our dreams alive. Have something to look forward to. You know?
Next stop is Nautilus, City of Dreams.
Yep. What? Sass? Sass?
You scared me.
What's up?
I'm just thinking.
Don't blame yourself. You know, you can't control who a FLC picks for a focus.
My son Dodge. He was picked. He's in the sea. He said he wanted to see a foul sea, so I took him to go on a tour of the Uriday Gorge plant. Thought I'd surprise him with a chocobo chick to take home, but the second I turned my back, into the energy plant he went.
Dodge! Dodge, come out here! Dodge! I know you're in here! Dodge! Where are you? Say something! Dodge! Hey, what's wrong? Dodge!
Daddy!
It's all right. You okay? You're not hurt, are you? What's that? Apparently, those post-Lassie had snuck in and tried to attack the Sanctum Fal'Cie. It did the only thing it could and gave Dodge a Lassie to protect it. My son, he got picked by a Sanctum Fal'Cie. He's a hero. But we're post-Lassie. Dodge's enemies. Psychom showed up right after that to take custody of him. And then, it was one test after another. Even then, they couldn't figure out his focus. Maybe it was look for Post Lassie, maybe it was kill him. Either way, how could a kid that young even stand a chance? After he was made a Lassie, Dodge had some way of sensing things from Pulse. He was the one who found the Pulse Foul C. But the kid can't fight. So, that's why I put myself on the train to Purgeville. I figured his focus had to have something to do with destroying that Pulse Foul C. Thought I could do it for him, and, well, you know the rest. If I was right about his focus, he's probably a crystal already. Of course, if he was supposed to take out that thing's Lassie, then either we die, or he's a Seath.
Die? Really?
It's a pickle, all right. But the bird says no.
So there you have it, folks. Now you have Saz's story. It's not the only one we don't have is Finiel. And that's going to be the end of the episode. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to like this video and share it with your friends. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Have a great day, everyone. See you next time.